Hey, how's life down in Eugene land?
They had black ice on the road this morning, so walking the dog was fun.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous. Don't take a fall.
Did you
Yeah.
feel the earthquake?
Did you feel the earthquake
When was that?
Uh,
last night?
Obviously, no.
2 days ago, I
Oh,
think
I'm
there was
sorry.
6 point off the
Two
coast.
2 days ago it was a 6.0
No,
off the Oregon coast.
no, no. I don't think so.
Because 6.0 is definitely big enough to feel.
Yeah, I haven't even read anything about it, so shows what I know.
Well, there's a seamount about I think about 300 miles off the Oregon coast, and apparently it's it's highly dangerous and it's acting up. And I think that's where there's a I'm sure you do know there's periodically a big tsunami along the Oregon, Washington, Northern California coast, and I think that's where it comes from. And big tsunami. Okay, let's do move number 2 today. Let's start out by reviewing what we've done so far, and then we'll move on to finishing up move number 2. And tomorrow we will polish it. We're not gonna rush ahead too fast. Move number 2 is challenging. Move number 1 is very easy. Move number 2 is actually a little bit challenging, so we're gonna spend plenty of time on it. You get these first three, four, five moves, and you probably won't realize it, but you will have gathered a lot of experience about what we're going to do, and it makes doing the whole rest of the form a lot easier. So we'll go into these first few moves very slowly. Okay, the first move again. The first move and just the beginning of the second move. And again. Couple of things. The first three circles that we do, you begin every form with those circles, you end every form with those circles, you do those circles in between individual exercises in all the Qigong series. Those circles are called Taiji Qigong, Tai Chi Qigong. When you do them, there's certain specific things you should begin to practice with those. So, first of all, you're not just moving your arms like this. From the down chin, pulls out. Jill, what energy is this?
In the in the sense of pung.
Yes, in Pangujian.
Okay,
What energy is this?
that's pung.
It's beginning to become Pang. What energy is this?
Uh, Oh, are you talking like Li, Ping, and Shu?
Lu.
Oh,
Peng, Lu, Ji,
Lu.
An. Which one of the four is this?
Lu.
Lu.
Lu. Uh-huh.
True.
Which one is this?
That's Peng.
Pong.
All right. Which one is this?
Ji.
Said it.
Lu.
Lu. Which
Lu.
one is this?
Ji.
Ji.
An.
An. All right. Which one is this? There's only one left.
Ji.
Qi. Okay. Qi energy is actually energy going out from the body caused by a compression of the dantian. Right? So this, that's Qi energy. Usually translated into English as push, but that's not really what it is. All right? Qi. Peng. Lu. An. All right. Now, for those that are beginning, like James, this is kind of a little more advanced. All the rest of these guys have been through all this for a year or two, so this is really for them, but you pick up what you can. The point of identifying those four energies is not to do them on the outside, although you should do them on the outside. It's to do them on the inside. Right? Qi. Right? It's by compressing inside. You compress inside and you just leave a few little places for the energy to leak out. So this is Qi energy. All right? Wow, how's that G energy, right? How's that compression? It's compress, boom, all right? That's how you make a punch in Tai Chi. So the point of this is not just intellectual. It's, you actually have to do it, in your gut, all right? Qi. Now, it should be very, very light. It's 90% in your mind and only 10% in your body. You don't try to crush everything in here. It's very, very gentle. Right? Qi. Peng. Peng is expansion. So you're expanding from the center. Right? Now, pay attention to this, because this is one of the keys of Tai Chi. When you peng with your arms, you do not use your shoulders. It's not this. Right? That's just stress. What happens is the dantian expands. Your arms are resting on the dantian, and the dantian just expands. My shoulders and my upper arms are totally relaxed. All right? Lu. Right? Lu. Lu is the energy of turning on your own axis. Right? So you don't see it here because you're going in both directions at once. This is Lu. This is Lu. But when you do them both together, you don't see it so much in the physical body. But you do feel it in the energy body. It's very similar to, and you've probably seen this, some little kid who's got a couple of hula hoops. And they put the hula hoops at their waist, and they get one going counterclockwise, and they get the other one going clockwise, and they do both of them at the same time. How do they do that? Well, you have to be a 6-year-old kid, but it's exactly the same thing. Right? One is going this way. If you're going to do Lu, you're going to be using what's called the daimai around the waist. Right through the dantian. It's the energy channel around the waist. One is going this way. The other one is going this way. And so physically, they kind of cancel out. But energetically, they're both still going like those two hula hoops. They're both going at the same time. Boom. And that means there's power in your hands. Right? What is this motion? Right? It's called slap the ears. Boom. Right? Pong, grow, lu, turn. On is translated usually as pressing down. However, that translation makes you feel like what you should be doing is this. I'm pressing down. No, that is not what it is. Just like with Pung, the shoulders stay absolutely disengaged. The energy goes through the shoulder, but it's not the shoulder doing the motion. Well, what's doing the motion? The best explanation I ever heard for this was from Chen Shang. Those who know Chen Shang, you can picture him. He said, imagine you're standing in a pool of water up about to your crotch. And you have two beach balls floating in the water, right? You put your hand on the beach balls. And then somebody pulls the plug in the pool and begins to drain the water out. And the beach balls just go down and you follow them. Right? You're not pressing down like this. You're dropping the chi inside the body, and the physical body follows the chi. So what do I mean by that? All right. We have an hourglass here. The blue sand in the hourglass is your chi. All right. The cabinet around the hourglass is your physical body. So what I mean is this. All right. The chi starts to drop through. It's already coming through. This is so slow that you can't see it very well. But the blue is starting to drop down into the lower chamber here, right? That's your chi moving. The physical body, the cabinet of the hourglass is not moving. Your physical body's not moving, but the sand is moving. All right? Now, we don't have to be quite as slow as that hourglass. The sand is moving. Just let the sand drop through your body to the Dan Chen and then down to the feet. And you just follow the sand. You're not pushing the sand. You're following the sand. Back to the Dan Chen. Right? Squeeze, expand, turn, right? And compress, right? Down again. Okay, so you do that 3 times. You should be aware of those 4 energies every time you do this, because that's what you're practicing. It's not the physical motion. It's the motion of the mind and in connection with the energy body. That's what this is a meditation on. Okay, now, one of the most important parts is the end of this. And I'm going to stand up close enough because I know most of you are watching me and I'm very small, right? When you come to the end of this, there's something you have to do. And if you don't do it, it makes the end of it kind of abrupt. And if you do it, it makes it a real pleasure. All right? Bring the energy in, right, into the third eye. Bring it down to the Dan Chen. And then down to the feet. Back up to the top of the head. And then down through the arms to the tips of the fingers, down through the legs to the tips of the toes. Then you're done with that section. You think of that, it's not just a little flourish. It's resettling the chi in your body in the right places, all right? So you're ready to move on. Otherwise, things might be a little, where's my chi? It's just sort of around somewhere, all right? So it's an exercise in becoming aware of where your chi is and having some control over it by relaxing and being aware of it. I know people kind of go, well, what's my chi? How do I feel my chi? Just two hints from someone who had exactly the same questions when I started. Think of your chi as the momentum of movement inside your body. You can feel the momentum of movement. I'm going to start on my left foot and I'm going to come up to my right hand. I can feel that momentum through there. That's your chi. It may be many other things too, but it's at least that. Boom. All right. Boom. Boom. All right. You can feel that momentum moving through the body. The other thing is moving your body gracefully enough and with enough awareness that you feel the silk. And there's a classic movement called silk reeling in here, right? Watch. Pull silk. Pull silk. Well, what do they mean, pull silk? It's like there are silken threads between your hands. Pull silk. You're stretching it. It's like you've got a bungee cord between your hands, right? And you're stretching that bungee cord, and you can feel that. Now, is your silk outside? Well, sometimes it is, yeah. But it's also inside your body. So you feel the silk between your shoulder blades and going out your arm. Now, the truth is, you should feel that all the time, all right? Pull silk. 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 If you can feel that silk, it should mean, it does actually mean, that you should be pretty relaxed inside. If you're all sort of tensed up and you're not going to feel the silk, you're going to feel the tension. The silk is not something that you make up and push into your body. It's just natural to the body. So it's about dropping the tension of movement. And this is hard to do when you're first learning. It's very easy to tense up when you're first learning. Just relax. Just relax. They don't want you to relax because it's good for you, although that's fine too, right? They want you to relax so that you just relax and the silk becomes more obvious to you. When you do the end of this, when you do this exercise, you should feel the silk the whole way through. Top of the head, back down the body to the tips of the fingers, and tips of the toes. You notice, Kevin, you should have noticed this. The third one through, I look down at the ground. In general, you don't look down at the ground in Tai Chi, but you do in Qigong. This is a Qigong move. All right? It's not a Tai Chi move. And it's not a martial application. Why do you look down at the ground? Kevin, why do you look down at the ground there?
I've kind of wondered that myself.
You cannot do Tai Chi without constantly going back to the ground. That's why when we do the final Qigong exercise, I always say touch the ground. The ground is literally your mother and your father. And if you're going to move in Tai Chi as a martial art, every single movement uses the ground. So looking at the ground is a way of connecting your mind and your dantian and your energy, because your energy is going down into the ground, touch the center of the earth, and then come back up and relax. And now you're connected with your own ground. Now, what do I mean you have to use the ground? Imagine two astronauts in the International Space Station, and they're just floating around, right? You can't do anything if you're just floating around. You can't have a wrestling match because there's nothing to push off of. You have to have something solid and stable to push off. If you're going to punch, right? I can't make myself suddenly float, right? And I can do a punch, but I got to tell you, it's going to be weak. Watch. It's this motion. It's this motion that makes the punch. Boom, boom, boom. The actual punch is just like 10% at the end. Right? It's pushing off of the ground. If you're a baseball player, yeah, there's, if you're going to be a decent batter, there's a lot of stuff you got to learn. But watch the ground. It's the connection with the ground that makes it work. Otherwise, it's weak as water. Okay, so don't just do this motion and then throw it away. All right? Take a moment. It's a meditation. It is absolutely a meditation. Watch my body. Last of the three circles. Last of the three circles. Watch. You have to relax again, all the way down to the ground. Push the energy to the ground, come up to the top of the head, and then relax back again to the ground. Relax. You watch most practitioners. Watch most good practitioners. Right? This is what you're going to see on the end. And so forth. Why do they wait? Jill, why do they wait? They do this, and then they just stand there. Why?
because they're still grounding.
Yes, there's still grounding. It takes a little while to ground. It's not just grounding your energy, which is a big part of it. It's also grounding your mind. It's just calming down. Another way to say it is you're coming to a stop. You're stopping.
You're letting the cloudy waters settle.
Yeah, there's a line in the Tao Te Ching that asks a question: who can wait until the mud settles? By mud settling, they're talking about like mud in a muddy stream. All right? In fact, earlier in the poem, they mentioned the stream. All right? You wait. Who can wait until the water clears? They're waiting for the clear water. I've seen people do this at very advanced master level part, and they'll stand there for a minute. Wait, they're just waiting. Because they're not in control of this. They're waiting. When it's done, okay, now it's done. Now I can go on and begin moving. That's the right attitude. A lot of what is happening, including in China now, is Tai Chi has become a kind of gymnastics. And it's all about okay, well there's a place for that in the world, I guess, but that's not really classic Tai Chi, and it's certainly not what we're doing. All right? Tai Chi is a meditation. It's a meditation on your own energy. Relax. All right? When you feel when the water finally clears, then you start to move. You start to move out of that clarity. And you try to maintain that clarity all the way through your movements, from the beginning of the form to the end. How do you maintain that clarity? Catherine, how do you maintain that clarity through the next 12 to 15 minutes?
I haven't figured that out. You have to be grounded, and you have to respect those moments where you are still, where you return to the stillness.
What Catherine said is very important. When you are first learning the form, and I'm talking about the first 5 years of practice, it's very difficult to remain calm all the way through, because you're in the middle of this learning process, and you're going to have 100 things going through your mind, and all of those things create stress. And stress is like taking a stick and agitating the mud in the bottom of the river, right? So you're actually doing exactly the opposite of what it is you're striving to do. The secret to it is to relax. Just don't try so hard. Just relax. But it's a lot easier to relax when you already know exactly what you're doing than when you're right in the beginning of the learning process. So you got to cut yourself a lot of slack. Right? So when I tell any of you, including Catherine, which I've told her many times, you're doing this particular movement, for instance, the first movement we'll work on, you're doing it really well, and I mean it. It doesn't mean it's as good as it's going to be. I know it's going to be better as time goes on. But for where you are in the learning process right now, you're doing it really well. All right? The secret to moving ahead in your learning process is to do exactly what Catherine just said. You grab those little moments of stillness. and calm. Just sort of be aware of them, all right? You just become, okay, all right, boom. The mud is settled. Okay, now I'm going to move on. I'm going to do this. I'm staying very calm. And then I go over here and I come here. And now, oh God, I can't remember what I do next. Oh, you're getting all tense again. So just remember when you get to those places. No, seriously, that's funny, and it is funny, but seriously, when you get to a place where you forget what to do next in the learning process, here's the solution to the problem. Your physical body remembers more than your mind does. So you've got to get your mind out of the way and follow your physical body. And the way to do that when you've tensed up is relax. Just relax and let your body do what it wants to do next. Follow your body. Maybe it won't be 100%, but it will flow right into what you need to do. Okay, I got that lecture from Master Zhang 10 times over 10 years. You just need to be reminded of it over and over and over. The process you're going through is a lifelong process. And you got to cut yourself a lot of slack, but you also got to kind of discipline yourself too. Let's go on to tomorrow I'll have everybody do what we're learning here. Let me demonstrate the complete move number 2, and we'll at least begin that today. We'll finish it up tomorrow. I'm going to demonstrate the whole move. Then I'm going to come back and break it into its biggest sections. And then we're going to take this section by section. The truth is, every Tai Chi move is actually 10 or 12 moves combined. That's what makes this so hard. There are moves that are just one move. So the move elbow to heart looks like this. That's it. But I think that's the only move in the whole form that's just one movement. Most of the moves are named after the last movement in the sequence that you're working on. But in fact, there's like 10 or 12 other things ahead of time, and then you do that last one, and then they say, well, that's all called that, right? But in fact, it's a whole bunch of different things. So again, cut yourself some slack. These are complex. Let me demonstrate the second move. The second move is Jing Dang Dao Dui. Buddha's warrior pounds the mortar, and it begins where the first move ends. Don't do anything, just watch me. And obviously this is Buddha's warrior pounding the mortar. Right? That's a long, complex move. And there is a very challenging part in it that we'll spend most of tomorrow working on. And that is making the shift, right, from here to here. That is challenging physically. So you've got to know the details about what's going on, or one, you'll do it wrong, and two, it'll be difficult physically, because it is difficult physically. But there are tricks you can use to make it better. There's 3 parts to this. We did part number 1 last week. Part number 1. Part number 2. Part number 3. All right. Part number 2 is, to me, the most challenging part of this. We're going to spend a lot of time on it tomorrow, but let's take a look at it today. Again, don't do it. Let me just talk you through it this first time. Technically, the first part is a big part, but we're going to do it more gently at first until we get the body mechanics of this down. Then you can get a little more intense with it. So instead of, right, coming up, we're just going to do this. It's just a gentle step, not a big kick. All right. So instead of this, we're just going to do this. It's the same thing, but it's much less stressful physically. All right. So the first thing is to readjust your lower body. I'm facing this direction here, but I'm going to be facing this direction here. That's a 90-degree turn. Usually, as I said last week, we do 90-degree turns in 2 pieces, 45, 45. That's pretty comfortable for the physical body. When you're doing all 90 degrees at once, it's kind of challenging. There are ways that you can make it less challenging, that you can do this, and it's the way advanced players do it. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is sit down. All right. Step out, sit down. What that does is open your pelvis, because what you're going to do is use your daimai to turn your body. Watch. Sit down. Now, forget all the upper body. Just move your danshin like this. It's called rocking the baby. You sit down and rock the baby. And now you're on the other leg. Your legs have not changed position, but because you've opened your pelvis, and instead of going up and like this, you sink down, it's very easy to shift your weight and turn your upper body 90 degrees. If you don't do that, it won't work. All right. Again, step out. Notice when I step out, I don't step like this. Because if you step too shallow and then you try to sit down and turn, you'll fall over. So when you step out, the way to do it is to step back and then step out. So there's some distance between your heels. This is called a left forward horse stance. This is a horse stance. This is a left forward horse stance. All right? You can obviously also have a right forward horse stance, but it depends on some lateral distance between your heels. So, you step back, step out, sit down, and then rock your dantian under. All right? If you turn your upper body at the same time, now you've turned 90 degrees. Fairly comfortably. Then, right, you've come under, then you go over to go back. Sit down again, and again, turn your dantian under. Right? Turn your dantian under. This hand comes here. That's called brushing the knee. Somebody's trying to kick at your knee, right? You need to block them. There's two ways to block them, the right way and the wrong way, right? The wrong way is like this, right? The right way is like this. Turning the dantian under, under, under. So, the movement of the arm is a ping circle, a level circle. It's a level circle. It just happens to be lower. You're blocking this guy's foot from kicking your knee. So, step out, sit down, rock the baby, come back over. Now you notice my arms are going here, but watch down here. My arms are going here, but this is going back into my hip joint. Sit down again. Ping circle. Now, here comes the tricky part. My hands, my arms, have now become a balancing pole, just like a tightrope walker. And I'm going to walk through using my balancing pole. Now, my balancing pole is going to move, but you get the idea. Right? I'm going to relax both my arms as I walk through. Now, you notice that I'm walking ahead of myself here. They're not just side to side, but it's not a big step either. It's basically, watch my feet. It's basically one foot in front of the other. So, a rather mild step. Stretch out, walk through. Finish the movement. When Kevin comes up here, Kevin, remind me, when Kevin comes up here, I'll demonstrate what this move is. This is Kevin's arm. Kevin comes in here to push me, right? So what I do is trap his hand on my body. That does not require, you just sort of glue yourself to it. This hand comes up underneath his elbow and you open your chest. If you don't like that guy, you can break his arm. If you do like him and he's just drunk and obstreperous, all right, then you can just control his movement. And then we'll finish here really quick, but we'll spend a lot of time on this tomorrow. And then just relax. One. Two. Three. Four. All right, Buddha's warrior pounds the mortar. Watch these knuckles on the outside. One. All right, right from the guy's nose right down his body. You don't know what you're going to hit. You just get whatever you can. Second, now that his nose has been pulped and it's a bloody mess in the middle of his face, you give it a backhand. All right, and then down. Watch the arm. The Danshin is rolling. Guy's got his hand on your arm. You come up, you roll down. Roll down. When you roll down, you'll notice you turn to the left naturally, because you're shifting your weight from the right to the left. All right? When you do that, your right arm, if you're just relaxed, your right arm is going to follow. Now you pull silk. Pull silk. You stretch. When you do this with your foot, it's not your weight. Your weight stays on the left. Pop. It's just a pop. All right? Master Zhang would teach that. And then he would say, I'm going to turn around and listen to you, the sound you make when your foot touches the earth. And I can tell whether you're releasing the chi into the ground. If you just use your weight, that's not the release of chi. All right? This is the release of chi. You pop into the ground. It's like the crack of a whip. Okay, that's it basically. We'll spend all day tomorrow working on that little program, and we'll go through it piece by piece by piece. And I'll check with you and make sure that you're getting each of those pieces. If you do the body mechanics of this correctly, it not only makes it relatively easy, right? It makes it a lot of fun. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.